Watch this for 10 minutes. Think smarter than 90% of people. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone who doesn't talk much? But when they do, everyone listens? They're not loud. They're not flashy. They're not showing off facts or quoting random statistics. Yet somehow, they feel sharp. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Intelligence isn't about how much you know. It's about how you process what happens to you. Most people think smart means high IQ, good memory, lots of knowledge. But real intelligence shows up in moments of pressure, in disagreement, failure, silence, conflict, in uncertainty. Today I'm going to break down for mental habits that quietly separate thoughtful people from reactive ones. And no, you don't need a high IQ to build these. You just need awareness. Let's go deeper. Intelligent people don't argue to win. They seek to understand. Most arguments are not about truth. They're about ego. When someone disagrees with us, the brain treats it like a threat. Your heart rate rises. Your voice changes. Your mind shifts from listening to defending. You're no longer thinking. You're protecting. But intelligent thinkers interrupt that instinct. Instead of saying, "That's wrong," they ask, "Help me understand how you see this." That one sentence changes everything. Because when you ask instead of attack, people lower their defenses. Conversations become exploration instead of combat. You gather information instead of just protecting identity. Here's the secret. You don't grow when you're proving. You grow when you're observing. Even if you don't change your opinion. You sharpen your thinking by understanding theirs. And ironically, the person who isn't desperate to win usually earns more respect. They zoom out instead of collapsing. Average thinking is zoomed in. You fail once. Your brain says, "I'm not capable." You get rejected. Your brain says, "I'm not good enough." You make a mistake. Your brain says, "I ruin everything." That's emotional thinking. Intelligent thinking zooms out. Instead of, "This is a disaster," it becomes, "What pattern is this showing me?" Instead of, "I'm bad at this," it becomes, "What variable needs adjusting?" Smart thinkers treat life like data. Failure is feedback. Rejection is information. Conflict is signal. They detach identity from outcome. This is powerful, because when your identity isn't crushed by every event, you become stable. And stability is often mistaken for intelligence. But it's actually perspective. Zooming out reduces panic. Panic clouds judgment. Calm reveals options. And options create better decisions. They are comfortable with silence. Silence makes most people uncomfortable. That's why meetings are filled with unnecessary words. That's why people interrupt. That's why answers come too fast. Fast answers feel confident, but often they're unfiltered. Thoughtful people are not afraid of the pause. When asked a question, they think, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It feels long, but it changes everything. Because in those seconds, emotion settles. Impulse weakens. Clarity strengthens. Here's something subtle. People assign value to restraint. When you speak less but say more, your words carry weight. And more importantly, you respect your own thinking process. Silence is not weakness. It's cognitive control. And cognitive control is one of the strongest markers of emotional intelligence. They manage energy, not just emotion. Most people try to control emotions. Intelligent people control exposure. They ask, "Is this worth my mental energy?" Because energy is limited. Every irritation, every online argument, every pointless drama, it drains something. And when you're drained, you don't think clearly. So instead of reacting immediately, they filter. Can I control this? Does this matter in a week? Is responding necessary? If the answer is no, they disengage. Not out of weakness, out of discipline. Reactive people feel powerful in the moment. Disciplined people feel powerful long-term. There's a difference. Here's the bigger picture. Intelligence isn't loud. It doesn't rush. It doesn't explode. It doesn't need constant validation. It thinks before it speaks. It analyzes before it reacts. It reflects before it concludes. And most importantly, it separates identity from circumstance. You are not your last mistake. You are not your last rejection. You are not someone else's opinion. When you stop taking everything personally, you start thinking clearly. And clarity is power. Practical shift your 5-day challenge. Don't try to master all for at once. Pick one. For 5 die. Ask more questions instead of defending. Zoom out before labeling failure. Pause 2 seconds before answering. Filter what deserves your energy. Observe how people respond to you. Observe how your stress level changes. Observe how your decisions improve. You don't need a higher IQ. You need higher awareness. And awareness can be trained. Closing. If you've watched this far, you're already different. Because intelligent thinking starts with reflection, not information. Reflection. Take one habit. Practice it intentionally. And over time, people won't just see you as smarter. You'll feel more stable, more grounded, more in control. Endset is real intelligence. I'll see you in the next one.